Morning, George.
Good morning, Phil.
Morning, Steve. How are you?
A little worse for wear, but doing okay.
Oh, come on. Life can't be that bad.
I had a long day yesterday, that's all.
They say make Monday your longest day, then the rest of the week looks pretty good.
Okay.
Me, I played golf in the morning, then I had two clients, so it was a good day.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
Perfect day.
Mr. Gafka, outstanding. How
Mr.
are you?
Steinman, how the heck are you?
I'm good. I want to make sure that I've got the right microphone.
Well, I can hear you, so
Can you hear me? All right, great.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yep.
oh, there we are over there.
joys
How are
of
you?
technology. Doing well, doing well.
Excellent. Excellent.
We're gonna
Steve,
have a
good morning.
90-degree day in Chicago on October 3.
90?
No doubt.
Why
Yep.
aren't you out on the links?
I was
Maybe-
yesterday.
Barry is probably out there today.
We may hit a bucket of balls yet today.
Awesome. Awesome. And life's been treating you well? I'm glad you could join us.
Thank you. I appreciate the invite. Yeah, life is good. Just got done dropping the grandkids off at school because my daughter and her husband are off on a little trip.
Nice.
So we're doing the everybody pitch in a little bit. So I was the chauffeur this morning,
Excellent.
and I will be the chauffeur on the way home. So
How old are your grandkids, Phil?
let's see. Just turns second oldest turns 6 today. So we'll have a birthday party tonight. 7.5, almost 2, and a little over like 14, 15 months.
Wow, nice handful. That's great.
Yeah, all fun ages.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I do not want to experience that for another decade or so. I've asked my sons to please go easy on the old man, but I am looking forward to it when the time comes.
It is very fun. Steve, do you have little ones?
I do not. No.
Okay. It's well, we're fortunate because they're all in the neighborhood. We've got about a 25-minute triangle between the three families. So we can do things like this, which is nice.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And
Awesome.
show up, play, get them sugared up, excited, and then leave.
And then leave. I know, look, I wound up that you can have them now. I know I have it. You may have the same tendency. I love kids, so when I'm around them, they may end up a little more wound up than they were when I got there. It's not my fault.
No, it's your job.
It's my job, exactly. I do the same thing with dogs.
There you go. There you go.
We have so much going on. I was actually just recording. I may or may not have been at it since 4:30 this morning. I was just did a bunch of stuff, but I was just recording the orientation videos for the new lead generator, a Clarity Strategic Capacity Analysis lead generator, which Phil, if you don't have it, I think you might be interested. I'll send you the link to register. It's free.
Fine, please do.
Free.
Please do.
Cool.
So
Yeah.
how has the reception been to Clarity?
Steve?
I would say excellent.
Good.
Excellent.
I concur. It's the level of excitement. I got to stop saying it's almost embarrassing, but I'm I knew that we were on the right track, and with a couple of years of the methodology under our belts, we knew that clients would like this, but the enthusiasm with which the Clarity is being greeted is really, it's very cool, which is what prompted me to be like, listen, we can't say that our vision is to help you guys leave an indelible positive mark with $1 trillion worth of middle market businesses and pre-middle market businesses, and then make that, let's reach out. If I can connect you, Phil, and Phil, Phil is not currently, he's in the community, but he's not currently using Clarity. But if I can help Phil connect with business owners and CEOs and help them make their businesses better, make them immortal, then we will have done good. And that's, it's how I start the book. It's my passion. And so we created a freemium. If you want to do deeper things, does it require an investment? Sure. But there's no end date. There's no limit. This is go out there and do good. So, and it's being really well received, Phil.
Good.
I'm just a little excited.
No, and that you should be. I've got one client that as they meander along, they'll be primed for this, but they tend to meander. It's an ESOP and it's ruled by committee, and it's like they go a little slow.
I will reserve comment.
Yeah, well, everybody knows, it's just ruled by committee is not the best way to do things. Hey, but it works for them. So
You do you.
yeah, exactly.
It's what we kind of not shifted. So you guys know that we have these conversations every week. And then I haven't talked to Joe this week, but Phil, you and I talked last week, or was it the week before? We're constantly in communication. And if it's okay, if I share my screen, let's see here. First, I'm going to make sure I'm not going to open up something that I shouldn't. There we go.
We won't go there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, look, here's Phil's client information on my screen. I don't want to do that. So here, I'll share my screen. I just want to, in conversations with you guys, we've done something with the summit that I, this is based on your feedback. So we'll go to events, we'll click the summit. So as you scroll down, the theme of this year's summit is best practices for 3-year engagements. And I would say that that does not mean that a given advisor we imply an interest in leading a 3-year engagement. Let's say you're a wealth advisor, you're a one, you want to have, for example, the exit planning conversation, but you need to be looking at, what will execution look like? Am I really am I helping my client get on a journey they want to take, they're capable of taking, that is going to deliver a return on their investment of time and treasure? So we need to be thinking about that from the beginning of the conversation. So the theme is best practices for 3-year engagements. And here's what we've done. We're going to talk about a journey that starts with business development. We're going to focus in on Clarity Lead Generator in action. We're going to learn by doing. You guys know how much we love getting hands-on, right? And then on day 2, so that's the afternoon of day 1. You can travel in the morning, and in the afternoon of day 2, which is the main day of the conference, we're going to run a workshop solving a client case using Clarity. And we're going to break into groups. Each group is going to work on a different problem. And then we're going to bring the pieces of the puzzle together, and we're going to have some fun. It'll be judged, and we'll have a good time. Then we're going to get into, some related how to, you must have an effective senior leadership team. There's a lot that goes into that. Jeff Ketchum is currently slated to deliver that module, to lead, I should say, that module. We're going to talk about AI, right? How to use AI for marketing, for creating first drafts of content. We're going to get into some sophisticated prompts, and importantly, using AI to generate KPIs, to generate charts, things that we can grab and place into a strategic growth plan. And then we'll close out the day with a panel, how I stopped doing what I hated and started doing what I loved. Maybe I should have written it that way. And we're going to have a panel of 3 pros who have pivoted into the work about which they're the most passionate. But then on the next day, the color coding, by the way, is just to break the days up so people don't get lost. The next day, we're going to jump in with Clarity again and do a skills development workshop on the CEO workshop marketing event. And there are going to be several people in the room who have delivered these events. I've lost count these events, and we're going to do that as a workshop, hands-on, learn by doing. So Clarity, it's not the software, it's the methodology. This methodology is woven throughout the 3 dimensions of growth, and increasing strategic capacity is woven throughout the summit. And I'm psyched. By the way, always subject to change. Paul, good morning. How are you? You're muted.
Yeah, good morning. I have a quick question before I have to jump off in 20 minutes.
Sure.
Now that we have the lead generator,
yes,
I'm not sure how to differentiate that from actually doing Clarity. I've already have on my website a link to a landing page and have a video of how to fill out the Clarity. And I looked at the lead generator and I don't understand where I would use it versus what I've done.
Sure. So if you use lead generator, the only thing your client or prospect is going to see are the 25 questions.
Yeah.
And, tell us where to send your report, right? We get their email address. Now, we call it lead generator. From a client's perspective, it's wow, I hadn't ever seen the world. I hadn't thought of my world that way, right? And that we get that chronically from clients. Holy cow, this isn't the conversation I expected. This is great. No one's ever had this holistic conversation with me before. Okay, so that's lead generator. And then they get a simple report, and they get
a different report than they would get.
They do.
Said call. Do you get the phone number as well?
If they give it to you.
Yeah.
Phone numbers, unfortunately, Paul, phone numbers are an off-ramp.
Yeah,
People
I understand.
Actually, no.
I do it myself. When they don't make that a requirement, it's not necessarily going to get.
And if you do make it a requirement, people abandon. It's like, come on, man.
One of the things
nodding.
One of the things I liked about the lead generator, though, was it showed me all 25 questions at one time.
Yes.
And I could fill it out a lot faster than I could going through Clarity itself, where it's, one slide at a time that I have to do things. I
think that you may be laboring under a misimpression, and here's why
That's a nice way of saying it.
I didn't go to law school for
I may be
nothing.
screwed up. Okay, all right.
Okay, hang on one sec. All right, so I'll share my screen.
When I saw Lead Generator, I saw all 25 questions in one
Yes.
page. When I do through Clarity, I see the 8 pages of growth of profits, and then the next 8, and then the next 8. So I found it might be easier to go through Lead Generator.
Well, this is why I think you may be under a misimpression. So here I am in my demo dashboard. I'm in I've been a very busy agency. I'm working with 65 clients, et cetera.
Yeah,
Here
you're very
I'm
busy.
Open Lead Generator. So this is the link. Well, in fact, I'll do it. Control copy. Let's go up to an incognito window. Let's get Paul. Paul, love you. Going to move your face. There we go. Incognito window. Okay. Here's Lead Generator as your client will see it. And to Paul's point, we have the 25 questions, right? And then when they click next, they go to the intake form, which is email, first name, last name. They can enter their phone number. And importantly, why are you here? Okay. If we do this in the initial client interview, right, and the whole 9 yards, I'll click open form. And what we see is, again, Paul, you should see all 25 of these questions exactly the same. All that Lead Generator is these first 2 tabs. I click on that tab because here, let's do one that's complete. God bless it. Okay, let's go here. Here we go.
I'll have to go back and look at the video.
Yeah, check it out. Because then I'll show you the difference between the 2 reports. What am I in? Oh, I'm in Lead Gen. So I've gone down a rabbit hole here. But I'm going to pause sharing here for a sec, and I will show you what the Lead Generator report looks like.
Hey, George.
Yes.
George, can I jump in?
Please. This is a conversation.
Okay, so Paul, if the current situation or your current setup works, just keep doing it. I think Lead Gen was created to sort of grease the skids, make it more likely that a client would fill that out. But if your current system is working, drive on.
To George's point about working under a misconception, it's also possible that I'm confusing it with core value because I have videos that I created for both, because at the beginning of the year, I still needed something. So I did a video on how to fill that one out.
Yeah, core value definitely went panel by panel, but core value and clarity are completely different animals. But core value did go panel by panel by panel, and track your progress on the bottom.
Can I use that phrase next time my wife looks at me askance and say, well, I'm working under a misconception?
It works at my kitchen table, honey. You may be, saying, honey, you're wrong.
No. I would never say that she may be working under one.
I may be that's smart.
Right.
There you go. That is smart. Honey, I may be living under a
I'm
misconception.
glad I dialed in because I'm making notes on this part right here.
This is the important part. You want to know, guys, because we can talk about anything. I asked Sydney to complete a DISC analysis, and I have to tell you that so we came to our relationship later in life, right? We're in our late 50s. We've been together for 7 years. Maybe 4 years ago, I asked her to, I'm like, oh my God, this helps me understand me. Maybe it'll help, Venus and it's great. It's fantastic. Anyway, so there's that helps at the kitchen table as well.
Yeah.
Let me show you the report, guys. I'll just share my desktop, share.
You're sharing Sid's disc? No, just kidding.
No, that I'm not even supposed to read her disc. So here's the report. So your client gets an email, and they completely Lead Generator is designed to get to be within the bounds of trust, right? That we might have the low level of trust that we've created with someone out there. Okay. So they don't have to have a huge level of trust to answer the 25 questions, right? They know that they're a professional. They know that you're a real person. They can look you up on LinkedIn. By the way, we're going to do a great session on LinkedIn at the conference, etc. So you've created some trust. Now, how do we stay within that trust envelope? Lead Generator is designed to not only stay inside that trust envelope, because we're not going to ask them for their gross revenues, net income, industry. We're not asking for any of that. It's like, hey, friend, answer these 25 questions. And we're going to send you a free report.
Okay.
What does that free report look like? Now, you have probably increased the trust quotient by doing this, but go ahead, Paul.
Okay, that's a good point, that they don't have to answer those particular questions. and they get some information, what would the next step be for them to actually fill out the full Clarity or Clarity 1? And does their answers carry over?
Yes, and I'll show you in just a sec. This is good.
Great.
This is, I feel like let's workshop it, man. This is a great back and forth. Thank you. So the report is going to look very familiar to you if you've seen the full level 1 report. So,
Yeah.
but we're just boiling this down. What was important was to deliver real value. So to start introducing some concepts like strategic capacity, to introduce the concept of how to perform like a best-in-class competitor. So this person has said they want to stabilize cash flow, their number one priority. And we hit a couple of themes several times because it's a best practice to make, tell them what you're going to tell them, and then tell them what you've told them. So we get into the concepts of the 3 dimensions: predictable profits and cash flow, predictable sustainable growth, and predictable transferable value. Now, we don't want to overwhelm. So we talk about explain strategic capacity from a high level. Okay. We then talk about, hey, here are the things you're doing well. Here are your growth killers. Here's food for thought. And then the part that really, I believe, has the most profound impact. And I have discussed this. We know from a dozen years of using other tools that when the CEO hears herself saying, well, here's herself saying this, your employees are productive and loyal. Well, that's partly true. You have a high percentage of recurring revenues. Well, not really. She has heard herself say, I click these at random, so it may not make much sense, but that she has best practices in certain areas. We produce leads in a proven and systematic way. And then there are other places where they just don't. We don't do that. We don't capture data. And our suggestion to the CEO is take a few moments and read these questions again. So they've literally just completed it. So it's all in your mind. How would it feel to run a business where all of the answers are yes? Yes, I have an effective senior leadership team. Yes, my employees are productive and loyal. Yes, I have a high percentage of recurring revenues, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that psychology, I hope, will motivate a desire to learn more. Now, Paul, to your question, while we're on my
I have a better feel now. I have to figure out how best to use both to get people to engage.
So I'm gonna log into my full-blown demo company. Okay, now Paul, when somebody completes, let's go to reports. All of these reports these are all tests, right? They're in pink. So here's Acme. If I want to move Acme, so I've picked up the phone and I've called Balkan and I say, whatever I'm going to say, we have scripts for that. All I have to do is click Clarity 1. All of Balkan's answers are here. Their client intake information is here. And then I just click on business information. Now this one I've already completed. Yeah,
I'm following.
They go, upgrading is as easy as clicking on the business information tab and saying, hey, Paul, if you want to know the impact this is having on the transferable value of your business, your family's wealth, whatever your, increasing strategic capacity, your ability to grow, all of those things, right? You just click on business information, then you generate the report, and then we can move into the range of business value conversation, equity value planning, what will it need to be worth, and clarity level 2. Cool. So we haven't started. So that's
we could even go from the client intake form to Clarity 2 if you want to go depth without getting into the business value.
You are going to need to do the business information now.
Okay.
There are some reasons for that, but you're going to have to complete the business information.
Okay. Thank you. That was the main thing I wanted to get out of today. It took me 24 hours to remember why I wanted to specifically get in here today.
Oh, happy to help.
I had somebody at a Rotary club say, they went into a room and they forgot why they were there. It was the bathroom though, so it was a little.
I'm either hiding or.
Well, hopefully they went into the right bathroom.
Yeah, I've been in a restaurant and I looked at a distance and I saw MEN. Well, women also has MEN in it, and I went, whoops, wrong one.
So many places now have just said, listen, we're gonna be like aircraft have been since the '60s. It's unisex. You guys,
well, that's thanks to
that solves us a lot of confusion. Yeah. So, but if you think about, all of this is woven through so much of what we're doing these days, and people are getting results. That's that's the name of the game.
I've got a website up right now that I'm going to check out. I was listening to his podcast that he's got. It's somebody I know locally here, and he's starting up some group coaching rather than individual coaching to reduce the cost to people using things. Any of you doing, George, do you know of anybody in the community that's doing group coaching?
Yes, fractional coaching, which is how I think of it. It's kind of peer group-esque. And yeah, there are some people starting to do that. In fact, Mr. Gafka here, Phil, care to comment?
I do primarily individual. I do some group coaching as well. And it lowers the investment for those members. And I also do groups within organizations, which is a little different because you're not necessarily, solving everyone's problem, but within an organization, you're working primarily on communication, conflict resolution, making sure that people are aligned and engaged. The group thing, when they're running different businesses, is a little different dynamic, and you've got to bring the right kind of group together. It's all, look, if you're going to have somebody go deep, you've got to have that opportunity for them to develop a relationship where they can know, like, and trust one another. And sometimes that takes a little bit longer when you're working with a group of people that are, you're bringing together new versus within an organization.
Yeah. Well, I'm not part of it, but I looked into it. So pretty much all of Donald Miller's coaches use a group coaching model to lower the price for the investment for the business owners.
I take it Donald Miller's some other franchise-based system of coaching?
No. Yes, but Donald Miller's today's marketing guru, or one of them anyway.
Okay.
I always confuse, not literally, but whenever somebody says, I have to remind myself, Don Miller, Dan Sullivan, both super smart guys who have done a lot for our industry. Yeah.
All right. Thanks. I've got to get on a call with India. It's 30 p.m. for them. Their day is still only half done.
Yeah. All right. Thanks.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Well.
Hey, Paul.
Thank you, Paul. Be well. Hey, Joe, you started to say.
I just had a simple question. When we use the word profit in this specific to the clarity, what is that? Which number are we using? Is it EBITDA or is it net profit? What?
Yes. So I decided to not have us explain to a CEO. So in core value, it asks for EBITDA. And we all know what that means, but many CEOs do not. And or they may know what it stands for, but they're not highly confident. It just becomes a sticking point. So I just said, hey, we're going to talk about net income. And because net income for purpose, and it's 10 a.m. I could talk literally until 10 tonight about this one topic. We all could, right? Just let's focus on net income. So you got your gross, your net, your value is going to be calculated off of one of those. You care probably the most deeply about what that net income is, and then we can get into veracity of numbers, etc. But that's your answer, Joe.
Okay. Yeah. So whatever right now, it's whatever they believe the net income is.
Yes. And hopefully
we can get deeper into it later on, but purposes of staying at the high 30,000 foot level.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right, Joe. Joe, where are you this morning?
I am down at my club, cigar club. So we're sitting in the back. Beautiful day in Central Ohio. So
it is. The weather is. You guys are warmer than we are down here.
Really?
So.
Yeah. Well, I'm ready for fall. It's why we live up here.
That's right. So
I mentioned we're going to be 90 today, but we're not going to get out of the 50s over the weekend. So
there you go. Get the rake out because it's coming.
Yeah, it's coming.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
Yeah, Phil, what else has been going on in your world? It's so great to see you.
Oh, I appreciate you letting me stop in. Life's been good. Business is very solid. I have a lot of long-term clients. Business development is going well, and I'm gonna just be shy of my goal of 40 rounds of golf this year.
Did you and Barry ever get together?
Yeah, the weather cooperates. I may still get there, but it's been a good season. So all in all, it's just, kind of what I coach clients for, good work-life balance. And I just want to, if I could keep this going for like forever, that'd be great. I know that's not possible, but I'll take it as long as I can get it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So life is good.
It's interesting, Phil, when it was during your certification, class that we talked about, show of hands, who wants to retire, and the alternative being who wants to just get to where they're working on their own terms. It sounds as though you're headed there.
Well, I think I've been there. My wife is now actually setting a date for her retirement.
Cool.
And then she's thinking, okay, how fast can I go back and work part-time? Because I know if she sits around here 7 days a week, it's going to get ugly.
It goes back to our earlier conversation. Yeah, man.
I mean, it is. It's, fortunate at this point in the career, I can have a lifestyle business and it works.
Nice.
And that's kind of what I've worked toward. And I still work with my first client. I've been coaching him since early 2009. And I think he's one of those types that as long as I want to coach, he'll still be a client. So, I mean, even if I get, really bank it down, I'll still have some things to do. I know for me, I have to stay engaged at some level.
Yeah.
I just can't see doing nothing. I've got brother and sister and in-laws that are retired and, they're looking for things to do or they're playing pickleball, but, that's just not on my radar. I still like getting out there doing the business development and meeting people. I run a networking group down in the city. And, there'll be a time when it'll be fine to bank it down a little more. But right now, it's a good level, good pace. Kind of found this nice mesa. I'm just trying to stay up there as long as I can.
Nice. Yeah, that's it.
Are you all settled in down there now, George?
Absolutely. Yep, we are settled in. Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. There are some boxes in the corner of the study that I need to tackle. I keep saying this weekend. It's like the business owner's rolling 5 years. It's this coming weekend. I'll get on them though. We've been incredibly busy. Sid traveled for the better part of a month in connection with her work. She helps run the Telluride Film Festival.
Okay.
She's heavily involved with it. And then Telluride, long story short, Telluride actually allows the studios through Telluride allow a limited number of those titles to go to Dartmouth College because the founder of Telluride was the director of film at Dartmouth, and Sid worked with him and then took over his job. And so they have this wonderful relationship. And so she then goes and does another Telluride up at Dartmouth. And so long story short, we've been busy, but we're totally settled. And, in the office, busy as heck, having fun.
Well, the rule for those boxes, don't you?
Go ahead.
If you haven't opened them in a year, you do not need them.
That's exactly right. Well, I went through that moving down here. We went from 5,000-ish square feet with a double garage and, and et cetera, to 2,000 square feet with no attic, no garage, no basement. And so those boxes are by and large gone. These boxes are more George's hobbies. Like I do a lot of things outside and it's bulky equipment and I've just got to figure it out. So
very nice.
I got a closet that would make you laugh if I opened it. You'd be like, oh my God. So
George, I had a question. Opening up the growth driver or under the the clarity part.
Sure.
Do we have to clear out our cookies or whatever to get it to update? Because I'm not seeing that alternative biz dev lineup on mine. So
I will, Joe, let me go and look because you and Ed are in one company. Let me go and look. I will make sure that you have you have access. I'll just make sure that the engineers we're gonna have a long run.
And you said you're going to be posting up the training on the biz dev piece.
Yeah.
Just finishing up the recording on that. Okay.
Yes, it's pretty high level. Here's how to register. Here's how to log in. Here's what your email that you'll receive will look like. Here's where the URL is. It's pretty straightforward. And importantly, here's how to interpret a report. And I recommend that everyone get a copy of two things. One is Mark Roberge's book, The Sales Acceleration Formula. And the other, and I will put this in, let me hold it further back. I'll put this in circle, is the sales process, just to help you thinking around, okay, where does lead generator fit and what would I want to do next? And that's a quantified, well understood process. Now, just because you understand a process doesn't mean it's going to magically do itself. But all those resources, we're all about helping. How do we help you win new engagements, and then how do we help you deliver wins? That's the name of the game. Go ahead, Steve.
So, George, the only way to currently look at specifically what the potential client sees is to click on the email that says XYZ completed a report and here it is, right?
Yeah. Well, give it today to, we're putting the button into your dashboard.
Oh, okay.
But the reality is, and let me just, and then I've got about 5 minutes and I'm going to have to scoot, but let me, if I might, guys, let me show you. Let me see. Here I am. I'm in Acme. Great. I'll go to the report. Okay. So Zoom, share screen. There we go. So Steve, to answer your question, here I am in a completed level 1. We've completed the survey, 25 questions, client intake form, and the business information, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have all of this, and we have a report. The report that gets sent to someone to develop trust, right? That initial outreach has this top area. It has this strategic capacity area. We don't get into value, growth capacity, value capacity. We don't want to overwhelm. We don't get into the 3 dimensions of growth. This is all additional education, right? Additional ways in which you can help your client better understand their business engine, right? We do show the highlights, growth killers, and deal killers, and this bottom section. And we actually developed this bottom section in connection with Lead Generator and added it to Clarity Level 1, right? Yeah. So they get a redux of this report. So, once you know that, the report will be in your dashboard, and that you're really just omitting these 2 sections, frankly.
Okay.
And then the verbiage is different, obviously, but cool. So.
Yep.
So it's a valuable report, and I'll put it up against anything out there. Anything from, what are those guys called? Value Builder with their score. Okay, the Rocket Fuel Integrator Implementer. I'll go up against those in terms of having a serious conversation with a CEO and giving them something that delivers value and causes them to ask themselves questions. That's what we want, right? Even if nothing happens in the moment, that report is there. You've left the mark, right? And I would recommend, life is long, right? Life is long. How many of you guys have your phones ring years, months or even years after you had an interaction with a client and your phone rings and it's, hey, Phil, it's George. You remember me? We talked about, I wanted to grow my business. We didn't end up working together. I really remember our conversation, and I wondered if you had some time. Right? Those conversations happen routinely, right? If I see Phil nodding his head, yeah, and you guys report those back. You're not, I get my phone rings. George, you're not going to believe this. I haven't talked to this guy in 3 years, and he's hiring me. I'm like, great, fantastic. That's what we want.
Well, you hit a key thing here when you can deliver this. It's all, you can have a relationship, but when you get to the trust level, that's when people, remember you and will come back or refer you. That's just, the know and like is very cute, but the trust is the real, heart of a relationship. Mm-hmm. And if you just help somebody along the way, just for helping them without any thought of anything else, that does come back.
It does.
Lovely.
Absolutely. Well, that's my personal philosophy, and because it's the right thing to do, and it works. Karma. Right. Guys,
nice to chat.
I have to sign off. Phil, it was great to see you. Steve,
thanks for letting me play along. I appreciate
every
it.
week. Thanks for being part of joining every week. Phil, come back anytime, right? You know how to get here.
I will visit. Thank you again.
All right, man.
Take
you
care.
guys be good. We'll talk soon. Have a great week.
Yep.